Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel. I'm your host for LT Productions. You are watching I Watch You Watch. We are covering the real Love and Marriage Huntsville. This is season 9. I don't know what episode it is off the top of my head, unfortunately, but this is season 9 according to OWN. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Thank you for coming. Please like this video. You can subscribe if you are new to this channel, and leave your comments below. And Happy New Year to you all. I did enjoy this episode, so let's get into it. Okay, so I did just tell you I enjoyed this episode, and I actually did. To be truthful, I don't even want to review it. I don't know where my mood is, but actually I'm kind of just still sleepy. So that's why I'm kind of like, I don't know why I had to give you all that. That's not why you're here. You're ready for me to do my job. And that's what I'm doing as of now. We start the episode with Nell and Chris. They're out. They don't even know how to have a conversation. Maybe this is still overage of what happened when they went to dance or sword, or was it sword fighting? I don't think it was dancing. I think dancing was last season. I don't know. Anyways, and she didn't want to talk about her feelings. She didn't want to think about her mom and all that good stuff. So they're having small talk, and then they get on the subject of Chris's new office building. He's been trying to get a hold of Lance. He's supposed to be constructing, or at least remodeling, the building that he has for his agency. And Lance hasn't been available. I guess he's got too much work going on. He's looking for an estimate so he can go on and do what he do. They get on the subject of the whole, not remarriage, renewal of vows and stuff. I guess Nell is on cue of actually doing this now, which is cool. Because she even revealed later on in the episode that they really didn't get to have the type of wedding that she would have wanted. That was like 35 years ago, so possibly they didn't have the money back then. It's like, it's now time to just do your big do if you want it to be done. You know, the marriage has stood the test of times, even though Chris went out there and cheated. But whatever, that's neither here or there. It's over there. Nell says that she wants to talk to Mel because she really felt a certain way at how Mel was just, and I said this weeks ago, she was quite nasty to Nell. Like, you were laughing in her face. Mentor! Nah, they played the clip of Nell going over this with Mel in this episode. And many of y'all just, I wish fans were real. Because I know if people did some of the things that you saw on reality TV to you would have a different response. But because you're not having this experience, somehow all logic goes out the window. Nobody's feelings matter, and it's whatever. Especially if you like the opposing person. I'm looking at all these responses. Oh, Nell's needy. Nell, well, she didn't really say. She did. She laughed in her face. Mentor! I said, what? It was just like, but we'll get there. Let me just stop. Anyway, she wants to talk about that because she wants Mel to be a part of her renewal thing. So we move on from that scene and we go over to Mel. Mel meets Maurice at his office. It's been a long time since Mel and Maurice really got together, and outside what she did at Trisha's and Ken's home. He takes her a tour around his office because it's been a very long time. I will say this. I know how we feel about the show, and I wish this was like 2 years ago. You know, it's kind of like things have run its course, but things are kind of coming back full circle in some ways. We can't fix Martell. Martell is gone, and I don't want to see him no more. But it's like the rest of the cast is coming around. Mel is allowing them to come around, and she's going around them in something that we have not seen in about 2 or 3 seasons now. Probably. At least the 3. I'll say. Well, this is season 9. What season would it be if it wasn't? It's kind of like between season 6 and season 7. Season 4 is when things started really changing. That's when she finally, well, season 3 at the end is where she needed Martell to sign the divorce thing, whatever. So from season 4 on, it's been weird. and we saw that. So it's cool that Mel has come to a place where she somewhat I guess she will at least show up to film at this point. I don't know if she's miserable or not. Some people said it that she's miserable. I don't know. Anyway, so Maurice and Mel, they finally talk. I talked too much about that for somebody who didn't really want to review the show, this episode. Maurice wanted to just review what was said during Latricia's party, but the most that was bothering him is that she was going around to others disparaging her character. And Mel said, well, really, what your choices is what was disparaging your character. You did that all by yourself. Yes, it's the extra messy part that you went on and did that you didn't want to confront Kimmy or Maurice. But you knew it was going to get back around. And then when they start confronting you, you don't want to talk about it. Just like you said in your confessional. Oh, Maurice wants to talk about this, but I don't really want to talk about it. I don't understand. You just had energy 2 days ago about it. When you were trying to be messy. And I don't know what your motive was for that. I think you wanted people to co-sign. And since you're the only one that's really giving it any energy on the show, I guess you don't want to talk about it because you don't really have backup. That's what I think. I mean, you were asking practically a stranger, Trisha. like, why would you? I understand that you were being messy and you had to have had some get back in you. Even though in this episode, as Maurice goes on to say further, well, in regards to how you actually did stuff and you went behind my back saying certain things, it really seems like this is, he asked, is this some type of get back as far as what you were doing? Oh, no, absolutely not, ma'am. Even your followers say that it was. Even your followers were saying it's karma, and then when they were bringing up a show, that's what they did, so now it's their time. But now, Sister Mary Mel Cherie has put on her attire, and now is just holier than thou and don't know nothing, da-da-da-da-da, and that wasn't my, ma'am, it was. And you pride yourself in being a Scorpio. Scorpios will sit back and wait until the time to actually get their get back. Because Maurice was like, is it something as far as what I was doing towards you that you just wanted to get me back? Oh no. Yes, it was. You're a liar. And I think that Mel would be more appealing if she could just stand in her ish. But she don't want to. She don't want to. And that's what makes me go, when we can all see what's going on. But her fan base will twist things for her. I don't know what y'all gonna come up with, but basically they're calling you, Mel's called you guys liars. She's saying it's not true, but y'all been saying it. Y'all been the ones saying that this is get back on Maurice. What do you guys have to say towards your leader and queen? That's what I really want to know. But I'm sure you're gonna find some way to twist it up and be hypocritical, as your leader is. Mel brought up, there's been jokes along the years. Maurice brought up that, I was speaking with Martell about how this, and then she said that, see that right there. Because you are friends with this person, there's no way you think that we could ever be, ever really tight. There's some other things that I gotta speak on. She was talking about, what was she saying? Oh, because she was going off like, Maurice was like, I want the old Mel back. What Mel is that? Because if you're talking about Melody Holly, that's not it. You have not met Melody Cherie. I have not been around you guys. Yeah, you have not been around. This person is different. He feels like she's not healed. Of course, there's just always pushback. I think that there is a healing that has taken place. However, I think that she does have that Scorpio trait of wanting to get back at the people that she feels wronged her during her time of getting out of this divorce. She also spoke in her confessional. She said this, so take note, that she did not want anyone to take either side. Now, she wants people to take sides. So it's like, if you want to be friends with him and talk with him, I don't want to be around that. You can't be around that. I got to protect my mental capacity. So, if that's the case, why do we have millimeters? And millimeters, you need to question yourself, because what has been told as to why the millimeters exist is that it was Mel versus the world. And I'm paraphrasing, but you get my drift. If that is the case, why do y'all exist? Because Mel said she didn't want anyone to take sides. Mel stopped her relationship with Destiny. She said that she was fooling around with the ops. And I'm paraphrasing about the fooling around. but it was always towards Tisha. We found out this year that she was talking about, oh, well, she was hanging out with my ex. Of course, because they've been friends forever and a day. But you never even communicate. See, this is the thing that, logically so, cool. I understand why you would back up from them, but you didn't back up from them by communicating what was really up. And I think that that has been a downfall for you, Mel. And you've allowed people to come in and attack them because it's been this whole Mel versus the world thing, but nobody knew that it was so versus you so well because you never put that boundary up. You just went silent and went and acted like everybody was your enemy. And I don't think that that's been fair towards your castmates. I'm not saying that you have to like them and want to be around them. You could have been open and honest up front. We see the psychopath that your ex-husband is. At this point, I don't know why anybody would want to be around him. He's gone out of his mind. He's gone. And no, there's nothing about him that is appealing. So I think that you've done a disservice to this cast, and you've allowed, through your own boundaries that you set up that nobody knew that you were setting up, to allow people to attack your other castmates because of something that you have decided that you wanted to do for yourself, and allow them to be your scapegoat and the enemy for what you needed to do with your life. No. And I don't like that. I think you should clean that up. Of course, you don't have to be friends with Destiny. It's the way you went about doing it. And again, if you are friends with Martell, that shows the type of person that you are in 2025. And I would understand at this point why Mel wants nothing to do with anyone that wants something to do with Martell. I do get that. I understand that. Now, back then, from season 4, I didn't understand it. And I don't think she at least was expressing the real reason. So I don't feel any regret at how I was feeling towards her. She didn't speak up and say what she needed to say. But again, you did not want these people to choose, but yet you made them your enemy. Before you communicated that, I don't want y'all around him if you're going to be around me. And see, that's another. I don't know when you have actually spoken to Carlos King about how you feel about Martell, and you're not really wanting to be around him. I'll just say I have an eyebrow up because people are blaming him. But when did you actually speak up and start talking about this? Now, again, he's dangerous and shouldn't be around people. I believe that. But I think that people have taken the fall for your lack of communication over the years, and lack of what you really wanted over the years. So, I spent a lot of time on this. But anyways, Maurice did apologize. And Mel apologized and accepted his apology. So I was glad at least Maurice was able to get out what needed to happen and what was going on. And I think that Maurice hit something because Mel would have gotten up. Just like she did in the last episode. What was it? Gaslighting. She did all that mess. She did all that mess. So Maurice hit everything hit something that was able to penetrate. But I think the apology is what helped Mel want to at least move forward or at least be in existence with Maurice. Because I don't think that she would have moved forward with him without that. That's my opinion. So we move on to Marceau, Chris, and soon Marquez is going to come in the room. Marquez? They talk a little bit, I think, about, I don't know what they talked about before Marquez got there. Marquez is putting up this pity party of what he says is going on with Ken and Trisha. Marceau is hearing everything out. Chris is more empathetic, as Marquez is saying, but Marceau's like, no, that's BS. And it's because of the word choices that he said that Marceau knew, you playing around. Because you're trying to blame the stuff that happened when you voluntarily left. And in your mind, you expected that whenever you decided to show back up, that you would be able to get back into your marriage. You're trying to say that Ken came in and destroyed all of that. No. Even for whatever Ken did back in 2020, 2017, you left long enough for somebody to come in there. You didn't communicate, and somebody else came in there and filled your spot and is doing it better than you. And Marceau called it out. That's why Chris wasn't trying to take up for him, but he wanted to say, okay, so what are you actually feeling and what do you actually see? And Marceau called it out. So you could just play games and all this stuff, but no, you abandoned him. He made him see the hard facts. You left, and you thought everything was going to be okay. And that's why y'all been in this constant fight. I don't know why Trisha just didn't leave you alone and just say goodbye. You're the one that failed to show up in your kid's life. So then he starts talking about Mel. He's thinking that he's going to be able to holler at Mel. I said, Lord. And he asked Marquez asked this, can you hook me and Mel up? He said, you're still married. Why would she ever even go for you? I'm not the one to do all that. I said, sir. He said when he went to one of her events, he got Mel blushing and all this stuff. He thinks he could really. Okay, so we're going to see. So Mel, she has this event. It's called Mimosas with Mel. I do remember when she first hosted that. I think back in, season 2, season 3? No, it had to be season 2. Her first one, I do remember that one. She's had more since then, but now she's including men into the whole situation. It's kind of a business thing, So everyone's invited except for Martell and Destiny, as far as I know. Well, at least Destiny didn't show up. And some people are sat at one table and others are sat at another table. I think that was the wisest thing. Sonny shows up. Yeah, so for y'all the ones that are so for Sonny, it is asked, where is Moses? Of course, we know if you've been paying attention to the YouTube streams. Moses is locked up. And finally, she admitted it. She wasn't going to say nothing. But he's locked up. And the reason he's locked up is because he was traveling to Huntsville. He didn't have permission. He was still on probation. He broke it, and he's in jail for over a year. So this fool got married to this fool, and you're spending your first year of marriage behind bars. As far as y'all like to act like only karma comes against Mel, like y'all don't even say that towards your own blood, which is very weird. I mean, is this karma for them? For love and lockup? Marceau said, hey, I think they're on the right cast. Eventually, if you come on this cast, you're going to go to jail. Marceau had me cutting up, and that's why I really enjoyed the show. It was just kind of like something lighthearted. The show has become just so drama-filled, and it's redundant, and we don't get nowhere. It's just like, So it was a nice break, this episode. Marceau is comparing Mimosas with Mel with his thing that he was doing, the Expo, as a teacher would say. So, he was talking that with Maurice. So eventually, Marquez, he was invited too. He made his way over to Chris and Trisha. They're trying to do something on their phone. We found out later that they were trying to send some money to Trisha and Marquez's children or whatever. He comes over there and just gets a dry reply when he said, hey, Trisha just paying him dust. So after he goes off to do his thing, Kimmy and Maurice were like, y'all couldn't have a more warm reply to him? And they said, no, because this is the same. This is the way that he always is. He doesn't really change. He's still this. It's always going to be something after this. He's always badmouthed me to her, and Kimmy was like, "Look, he would only have one time with me with that." And Trisha said, "Oh no, we've stumped that in the blood, stumped that in the neck before." But after a while, he comes back trying to act all different way. He'll apologize and he'll do it again and all that good stuff. He leads with his emotions, and we're not doing that. Blah, 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 blah. So later on, outside, it's Sonny, Marceau, Mel, and Marquez. At this point, Marceau decides to be funny and messy about this whole Marquez thing, because Marquez had a bunch to say when he was in front of Marceau and Chris. Of course, he's lightweight flirting and saying, because I think she said that her feet were hurting, and he said, I could rub them. Then Marceau went into, tell her about the time that you made her blush. Made me blush? Yeah. Anyways, she was like, well, I don't want anything done with you romantically. I want to help build you. And then she said, oh, okay. Well, you can send me a proposal to my email, and then we can go from there. All right, bet. So weird and crazy. He act like he really was going to get somewhere with Mel, but no. Martell was being also messy about how he was comparing the mimosa thing to the Espo thing. He was having complications at how to say the word to the event and stuff. It was fun. It was playful. Of course, they have this type of love-hate relationship, brother and sister type of relationship. It works for the show, and I like to keep that type of energy. Tisha could not make it because she was in Las Vegas with the originator of sin. That's Miss Wanda Shonuff. I don't know what her last name is, so I'll just say Shonuff Wanda. So she was there. She's there and she couldn't make it, whatever, blah, 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 blah. So we move on to the last part of this segment. Now, she's picking out a wedding dress to have for her vow renewal. Her daughter and niece or cousin is there, and she finds a great dress. Nell looks very beautiful. I really love it. I love it. So at that point, Mel came in, and Nell started to cry because she got her dress that she wanted. I guess that's what y'all ladies do. She sits down with Mel, and she tells Mel her feelings as to how she felt when she did what she did. You know, when we talked last, I owned up to what I did and said. But then you decided to just downplay our relationship. And I remember the times that I stayed up with you guys, up till the morning time, the sunlight, to try to help you and Martell out. And you're trying to act like we're not friends, we're not mentors, da 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 da. And I was a mentor to you. I was a friend to you. And that really hurt me. And Mel was like, that hurt you? Like, how can you come say that to me? Because you could have had this apology over 6 weeks ago. Mel said that she buried that on the inside. And possibly that's why she was when did she start acting that way? I don't know, but whatever. Anyway. But, yeah. And I'm 100% on Mel's side as to how she was playing it. Like, she sacrificed time with her mom to try to help these two overgrown people to try to get it together in their marriage. And it didn't work, whatever. But Mel was trying to say, well, I think you were more of a mentor to Martell to get him to stop acting that way. You were on his neck. So for anyone that's trying to act like Nell, at least Nell, we don't know about Chris. But anyways, that they weren't being a true friend and weren't in the best interest of Mel and Martell as far as getting them back together, and Martell was the one that was wrong in the situation, y'all are full of shit. And I really hate how y'all are so biased that y'all can't see the cloud, the stars, the moon, the rain, the snow, the sleet, the fog. Y'all can't see nothing besides whatever you fixate stuff and make everybody the enemy of Mel, when some people have been true friends to Mel. It's so crazy how y'all do things and treat people. It's just like, where's the logic at all when y'all start opening your mouths? That gets on my nerves. But that was the end of the episode. Next episode looks like it's going to be good too, because now tea is about to be dropped and questions need to be asked elsewhere. Chris and Nell, they did talk about the whole Trisha thing, and he denies everything. I just don't know, Mr. Fletcher, all the way. I don't know. I think something in the buttermilk is not clean about how you and Martell were talking back in that day as far as hooking up him and Martell, or him and Trisha. That's all I do have. I talked way too much for somebody who didn't really want to do this. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Leave your comments below. Until the next one, make sure you're liking this video and subscribing. Peace.